All right, so we need to talk about Erika Kirk because old footage has resurfaced, making people view her differently, especially connected to the ongoing Epstein saga. This isn't just a random clip, it's hitting different. In this footage, Erika is pitching herself for a role, super confident and composed. What's stopping viewers cold are the casual references she drops. International work in Romania and Epstein-related investigations, as if they're routine resume bullet points. It's the relaxed, matter-of-fact delivery that's jarring. You'd expect nervousness, but nope, just a chill tone that had everyone hitting replay. Now, put that clip next to other resurfacing connections. The Miss USA world, high-level fashion circles, and elite social networks, all reportedly linked to Epstein. The internet, as you know, moves fast. Add in charity work tied to Eastern Europe, and online investigators went into overdrive, cross-referencing timelines, old appearances, and public records. Soon, the same question spread everywhere. Before Erika became publicly recognized as Charlie Kirk's wife, she was already chasing visibility, working hard to get into the kind of spotlight that opens doors in media and entertainment. One early piece of this puzzle involves her relationship with Tyler J.T. Massey, a minor league baseball player. She wasn't dating just anybody. It seems everyone Erika dates already has some degree of fame or publicity, and that clearly attracts her. This is a fact of her life, and honestly, she's been known to be pretty loose with the truth. An old audition tape from that period keeps getting pulled back into the conversation. It shows Erika and Massey pitching themselves for The Amazing Race, and you can immediately tell how hard they were pushing. The energy is loud, playful, and very deliberately camera-ready. Erika is joking, laughing, leaning into a personality tailor-made for reality TV. She's even flirting directly with the camera, talking about her appeal, and presenting herself as someone who could bring drama and entertainment. Soul Tape gives off the vibe of two people who understood the game and were working every angle. And honestly, that version of Erika feels worlds apart from the one most people recognize today. On top of that, old Instagram posts and photo captions from that same time suggest her relationship with Massey might have been way more serious than casual dating, with some posts even hinting at a possible engagement. That detail genuinely surprised a lot of people just now discovering this chapter of her story. But that wasn't the only audition tape making the rounds. Another clip surfaced, showing Erika interviewing for a role connected to House of DVF, a reality competition tied to legendary fashion designer Diane von Furstenberg. This is where the timeline starts getting seriously layered, and much harder to dismiss. In that audition, Erika openly admits she never formally studied fashion and doesn't know how to sew. Instead of seeing those as weaknesses, she pivots immediately, describing herself as extremely trainable and highly adaptable. Then comes the line that made people stop scrolling and really pay attention. Erika tells them she's the kind of person who can pack her bags and jump on a plane within 30 minutes. That single comment spread like wildfire. On its own, it could just sound like someone trying to appear adventurous and flexible. But once people started looking more closely at the circles connected to that show, the comment took on a totally different weight. Diane von Furstenberg has been at the center of elite social circles for decades. We're talking environments where fashion, politics, major business figures, and high-profile celebrities constantly cross paths. These are exactly the kinds of networks where powerful people repeatedly and quietly intersect. And then another detail dropped. Diane von Furstenberg's son, Alexander von Furstenberg, reportedly appeared in Jeffrey Epstein's personal contact records. That connection alone set off a wave of online speculation. When people started putting photos from DVF fashion events in the mid-2000s next to known timelines, images emerged showing Ghislaine Maxwell at those same events during the years when Epstein's network was most active across elite environments in Manhattan and Palm Beach. These years directly overlap with the window when Erika was chasing her reality television and fashion opportunities. Not long after all this, Erika entered the pageant world, competing in the Miss USA system and eventually winning Miss Arizona USA in 2012. Back then, that organization was owned by Donald Trump. A pageant title at that level means way more than just a crown and a stage moment. The Miss USA system has historically been a gateway into powerful business networks, media relationships, and celebrity-adjacent social circles. Winning Miss Arizona USA in 2012 put Erika right in those spaces, attending events, connecting with sponsors, and moving through environments where entertainment, politics, and high society regularly overlap. For someone who had already been grinding through reality TV auditions and fashion competition pitches, the pageant platform was a huge leap in exposure and access. Online researchers tracking old photos and archived event listings quickly noticed how perfectly this moment fit the pattern already forming. Reality TV attempts, fashion competition connections, and now the pageant system. Each step seemed to move her closer to larger audiences, more influential rooms, and higher stakes networks. To many observers studying the timeline, it looked less like a series of random opportunities and more like a deliberate and calculated climb. Pageants are rarely just about tiaras and evening gowns. Behind the stage lights, they consistently function as powerful networking environments, connecting contestants to modeling agencies, casting directors, major sponsors, photographers, and media executives always searching for new faces to promote. After her win, Erika reportedly approached that world from a different angle, transitioning into work as a casting director, helping identify and select talent herself. At first glance, that might seem unremarkable, just another step in the entertainment pipeline. But researchers who have studied the Epstein network in depth have repeatedly noted that certain modeling and pageant-adjacent spaces have historically drawn scrutiny as environments where powerful people pursued access to young talent under the cover of legitimate industry work. That context made this detail land differently for people already examining Erika's timeline. Then came the charity work, and this is where the conversation shifted into entirely new territory. Erika and her mother, Lori, launched several nonprofit initiatives together, with one of the most talked about being a project called Romanian Angels. The stated mission focused on supporting vulnerable communities and people living in institutional care environments across Romania. On the surface, it sounded like standard humanitarian outreach, the kind of charitable work many public figures attach their names to. Erika even publicly thanked U.S. Army Colonel Otto Buscher for his support in helping facilitate parts of the project. But Romania was about to become the most significant word in this entire conversation, for reasons that had nothing to do with charity work. Around the same time, people revisited Erika's Eastern European connections. Newly unsealed Jeffrey Epstein lawsuit documents circulated. A $30,000 payment reportedly sent to a Romanian bank from an Epstein foundation immediately fueled the conversation. No public documents directly link Erika or her charitable projects to that payment, but Romania's appearance alone shifted the online discussion. Romania had already appeared in multiple international investigations tied to trafficking networks and irregular financial activity during that era. The overlap in geography, timing, and the circles already being discussed kept people digging. Once commentators lined up the pageant years, fashion connections, charity work, and resurfaced audition tapes, many felt the density of overlapping timelines was too significant to dismiss as coincidence. Others pushed back, noting Romania hosts hundreds of legitimate international aid organizations, and unrelated groups frequently operate in the same regions. From that perspective, the geographic overlap could be entirely coincidental. These fair arguments did little to slow the online conversation. This was partly due to a detail that brought the discussion back to Eastern Europe with renewed intensity. Multiple reports and investigations consistently pointed to Eastern European women as disproportionately impacted by Epstein's networks. Romania specifically appeared in several of these discussions as new files circulated. One widely shared comment read, "Anyone else notice this when going through the files? It really bugs me." He seems to have specifically targeted Eastern European women. Eastern European governments need to take a more proactive stance. We were the main victims. Comments like that amplified the conversation, keeping attention locked on the Eastern European angle. Then the resurfaced audition tape came back around, the one where Erika casually references international travel, institutional care work in Romania, interactions with military officials, and Epstein-connected investigations, as though listing professional experiences. Her relaxed, unbothered tone, almost rehearsed, is what keeps pulling people back to it. It doesn't sound like someone navigating sensitive territory, but someone who has said these things before and doesn't expect them to raise flags. But the layer that complicated everything involves Charlie Kirk directly. Before his passing, Charlie was publicly vocal about demanding full transparency around the Epstein files, calling for their complete release and accountability for everyone connected. Since his death, however, critics have pointed out something striking. Erika has never once publicly addressed the Epstein files, the surrounding investigations, or any of the connections people online have been raising. That silence has become its own story. In today's environment, when a major controversy trends and someone connected says nothing, people notice immediately. For online investigators deep in the timeline, the absence of any response didn't read as dignity or restraint. It read as confirmation that something was worth protecting. Some argued a straightforward public statement could clear misunderstandings if the connections were off base. Others noted there might be strategic reasons for staying quiet around anything Epstein-related, given how explosive the subject remains. But the internet doesn't wait for measured explanations. Old footage, pageant-era photographs, and early audition clips kept circulating and getting reposted. Each time they spread, more viewers studied small details, trying to construct a coherent picture from scattered moments across Erika's early career. Supporters consistently pushed back, arguing that pursuing reality television, competing in pageants, and doing international charity work are normal paths for someone building a career in media and public life. They maintain that drawing dark conclusions from those choices is fundamentally unfair without direct evidence of wrongdoing. That's a legitimate counter-argument that deserves to be heard. But regardless of which side people landed on, one outcome was undeniable. Those resurfaced tapes cracked open a conversation the internet has no intention of walking away from. The more people dig through old interviews, archived footage, travel records, and event appearances from that era, the more overlooked pieces of Erika Kirk's earlier life keep finding their way back into the spotlight. Each new clip sends the discussion spinning in a fresh direction. Online researchers keep surfacing documents and connections, looking for anything that might finally clarify what was actually happening during those years. The reason this story refuses to go quiet is straightforward. The timeline, when laid out in full, raises questions that haven't been answered. And until they are, the conversation isn't going anywhere.